Hello, my name is Barbara Gilbert. Welcome to Physics at CNM. I've been teaching physics for about 17 years, and a very common concern I hear among students is that this class is the most difficult class that they have taken in their tenure at college thus far. So I wanted to share with you some of the things I have uncovered in my research on the science of learning. I've summarized them here on the board, and we will go in depth on each issue here. So, research shows that there's a commonality amongst graduates of higher education institutions. While higher education institutions in their admissions look at things like SAT scores, ACT scores, community service, writing samples, extracurricular activities, and high school GPAs, students who actually finish college have in common strong high school GPAs. So begs the question, what fosters a high school GPA that is strong? And there are two characteristics that foster high or strong high school GPAs. Those two things are grit and a growth mindset. The foremost expert on grit is a researcher by the name of Angela Duckworth, and the foremost expert on growth mindset is a researcher by the name of Carol Dweck. You can do a Google search on either one of those and you will receive lots of information as hits. So what are the characteristics of high grit? Well, high grit is associated with courage. Quoting Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of one of our famed presidents, Eleanor Roosevelt says, "Do something that scares you every day. When you're outside your comfort zone, you grow." Having courage to try new things, to put yourself out there, is part of being gritty. A second characteristic of high grit is being achievement-oriented in lieu of dependability-oriented. Keeping your eye on the goal, working progressively toward that goal, and not judging yourself on what has actually been accomplished. Not staying within the confines of a space, but pushing the boundaries. When you push the boundaries, you learn. When you stay within the comfort zone of your mind, you don't learn anything. The third characteristic of high grit is follow through. Keeping your eye on the task. Chipping away at it a little at a time. Again, not judging yourself for how far you've gone. Reflecting on what you have done and how to move forward. And setbacks are learning opportunities. Continuing forward, learning from those setbacks, following through. Fourth characteristic of high grit is resilience. Resilience to failure. Keeping yourself optimistic. Knowing that if you continue working, learning from your quote-unquote failures, you will eventually accomplish the task. Keeping your mind positive, being resilient. The last characteristic associated with high grit is excellence in lieu of perfection. Perfectionism is a very, very difficult state of mind. Perfectionists are associated with obsessive compulsive disorder. They experience depression. They are searching or trying to accomplish something that is relative. One person's idea of perfection is not the same as another person's idea of perfection. So in some ways they're chasing a hallucination. So we want to strive for excellence, being able to lay our head on the pillow at night knowing that we worked hard. We put in a good solid effort. Excellence, not perfection. Those are the 5 characteristics of high grit. The other parameter that fosters solid high school GPAs is a growth mindset. And what does that mean? Well, it turns out there's 2 different types of mindsets. Growth mindset in lieu of fixed mindset. So the fixed mindset is the frame of mind that says to you, you know how you have that internal voice, says to you, all intelligence is fixed. You either have it or you don't. You're born with it. You're gifted. You're special. The growth mindset says intelligence is malleable. If I keep trying, I'll eventually be successful. When we interview very successful people, be it athletes, scientists, any specialist in their field, what we find is that they put in years and years and years of time, of effort, to become the experts that they are. It did not come naturally. They were not born with it. They worked very, very, very hard, put forth a great deal of effort to make it happen for them. Our minds are malleable. They are. Research shows that our minds are malleable. The neurological connections in our brain are constantly changing, and we can change them in a positive direction, in the growth mindset direction. So how do we do that? Well, there are several steps associated with trying to change your mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So how do we change from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset? Well, 4 steps are involved in trying to change your mind, change your brain, change the way you look at things, change the way you approach things. Move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. The first step, step 1, is learn to hear your fixed mindset voice. So learn to hear the fixed mindset voice. So the fixed mindset is the voice that says to you, are you sure you can do it? Maybe you don't have the talent. What if you fail? You'll be a failure. People will laugh at you for thinking that you had talent. The fixed mindset voice will also say to you, this would have been a snap if you had talent. You see, I told you it was a risk. Now you've gone and shown the whole world how limited that you are. It's not too late to back out. Make excuses. Try and regain your dignity. The fixed mindset voice will also say to you, it's not my fault. It's someone else's fault. There's some reason I couldn't accomplish this. In addition, any kind of criticism, while it may be given in the most positive of intentions from somebody, can be taken by the fixed mindset as, you see, you disappointed me again. You'll never get it right. These are the voices inside our head that we hear from the fixed mindset. Many of these voices I have heard before, and maybe you have too. These are voices that are not constructive. We need to learn to hear and recognize these voices. We need to be conscious of these voices when they come into our head. Step 1, learn to hear these fixed mindset voices. What's step 2? Step 2 is recognize that you have a choice on which voice you listen to. So recognize that you have a choice in how you act. In how you respond to your inside voice. So we do have a choice in how we interpret challenges, setbacks, criticisms. It's completely our choice to respond with the fixed mindset or with the growth mindset. We have autonomy. We have a choice. We are in control of our reality. We need to recognize that we have that power. That's step 2. It's that simple. You just need to understand that you do have the power. Step 3 is to talk back to your fixed mindset voice with your growth mindset voice. So step 3 is respond to the fixed mindset voice. With a growth mindset voice. So how do we do that? Well, the fixed mindset would say to you, are you sure you can do it? Maybe you don't have the talent. The growth mindset voice will respond by saying, I'm not sure if I can do it now, but with some effort and some time, I'm sure I can accomplish it. A fixed mindset voice would say to you, it would have been a snap if you had any talent. While the growth mindset voice would say, that's just not right. Basketball didn't come easy to Michael Jordan. Science didn't come easy to Thomas Edison. All experts put in lots and lots of time and effort to become experts in their field. A fixed mindset voice would say to you, it's not my fault. It was something or someone else's fault. While the growth mindset voice would say to you, things didn't go right. So let's look at exactly how things unfolded, because we have an opportunity to learn from this failure. And if we learn from this failure, then we can readjust and move forward. So when we hear that fixed mindset voice, we need to respond to it with the growth mindset voice. And as we continue to perform these operations in our head, we start physically making neurological changes in our brain, which will translate to it becoming easier and easier for us to hear growth mindset voices instead of the fixed mindset voices. Again, our brains are completely malleable. The last step is to take action. Take this challenge on wholeheartedly. Really try and focus in on these steps. Learn from our setbacks and try again. Hear the criticism and act on it in a positive way, in a way that will move you forward in a positive direction. People that live with growth mindsets are not only more successful, but they're happier with their lives. The purpose of this video is to try and share with you some tools to make your college experience better and your life move in a more positive direction. Some of you may already be very high in both of these characteristics. And some of you maybe are very weak, and some of you maybe are in between. And it's worth stating that there are different features about you. You have your personality, your intelligence. You may be a growth mindset in some of your traits and a fixed mindset in others. Most people are a mixture. But if we can continue to move, try and focus on a growth mindset, we'll have a better experience, all of us. So I hope you found this information useful. You can go and look at a lot more resources online by looking at Angela Duckworth's work or Carol Dweck's work in this field as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Thank you.